5 years ago, Viktor Gyökeres was worth just €1 million. Today, Europe's top clubs are preparing to pay over €100 million for him. He wasn't a wonder kid. In fact, he was benched at Brighton, deemed not good enough in the Premier League, and loaned out to lower league clubs 3 times. Fast forward 4 years and he's dropping a hat-trick on Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, on the biggest stage in European football, the Champions League. So what happened to Viktor Gyökeres? How did a forgotten striker become one of the most feared forwards in Europe? This is the story of a player who refused to give up and stepped into the spotlight on his own terms. Viktor Gyökeres is actually of Hungarian descent and was born on June 4th, 1998 in Stockholm. In Bromma, to be precise. It's definitely not the kind of place you associate with superstardom, but for those who know Swedish football, Bromma holds a certain weight. It's home to IF Bromma, one of the best youth academies in the country, a production line for talent. Think of Dejan Kulusevski, Ludvig Augustinsson and John Guidetti. They all came through this system, and so did Viktor. From a young age, he stood out, not for technical brilliance, that would come later, but for his size, his speed and above all, his drive. He ran more, fought harder and showed a kind of willingness that caught the eye. By the time he was 17, he had made his senior debut and naturally he scored. In 2017, he led the line as Bromma managed to win the league title and scoring 13 goals in 29 games and helping his side secure promotion. It was a breakout year and the attention quickly followed for the 19-year-old Swede. In early 2018, Gyökeres signed for Brighton & Hove Albion, a move that should have been the start of something big. But English football has a way of swallowing young foreign talent, and Gyökeres was no exception. He spent most of his time at Brighton playing for the under-23s, where he was teammates with Robert Sanchez, Chelsea's current #1 goalkeeper. Despite Viktor's early promise, he only made 8 senior appearances, all in club competitions, scoring just once. He never looked truly settled. The club didn't seem to know what to do with him either, and without a clear path to first-team football, he began to drift. Loan spells followed. First to FC St. Pauli in Germany's 2nd division. There, he showed flashes of his talent, 7 goals in 26 matches, but nothing spectacular. Then, a loan to Swansea City in the Championship. That spell was even tougher. He struggled to adapt and found the net just once in 12 appearances. Swansea chose not to extend the loan. By 2021, Gyökeres looked like another promising youngster who'd been chewed up by the system. A big athletic forward, but perhaps lacking the finesse to make it at the top level. The kind of player you expect to see bouncing between clubs, always on the move, but never really arriving. But then came Coventry City. In January 2021, the Championship side took him on loan. It wasn't a headline-grabbing move, but was a fresh start in a system that actually suited his game. Coventry's head coach, Mark Robins, saw something in him, and he repaid that faith. He wasn't just a target man, he became the beating heart of their attack. Strong, yes, but also intelligent. A player who could press from the front, hold up the ball, turn defenders, and link play with some refinement, surprisingly. By the summer, Coventry made the move permanent for just over €1 million. It would go down as one of the smartest signings in the club's recent history. In the 2021-22 season, Gyökeres scored 17 goals and added 5 assists. He was more than just numbers, he gave Coventry an identity. A striker who worked as hard off the ball as he did in front of goal. He pressed relentlessly, chased lost causes and gave defenders nightmares. The following season, he was even better. 21 goals, 10 assists. He was voted into the EFL Championship Team of the Season and began to draw serious interest from clubs across Europe. In the summer of 2023, Sporting Lisbon paid a club record €20 million to sign him after Ruben Amorim personally pushed for the deal. It was a gamble, signing a championship striker to lead the line for a team competing in Europe, but it paid off almost instantly. Gyökeres scored on his league debut and never looked back. By the end of his first season, he had scored 43 goals in all competitions and provided 14 assists. He wasn't just a top scorer in Portugal, he was the most complete forward in the league and arguably in all of Europe that season. What made his impact so remarkable wasn't just the sheer volume of goals, it was how he scored them, with both feet, with his head, in tight spaces, from long solo runs, he could do it all. Statistically, he was dominant, leading the league in expected goals, in shots on target per 90 minutes and in goal-creating actions. He bullied defenders, dragged them out of position and made space for teammates. Every time he got the ball, something seemed to happen. Then, in his next season, came the defining night for him. a Champions League group stage match against Manchester City, a game where Sporting weren't expected to compete, let alone win. But Gyökeres had other ideas. He scored a hat-trick, 3 goals against Pep Guardiola's side, a team known for giving nothing away. But Gyökeres didn't just survive that night, he dominated. It was the kind of performance that shifts narratives, the kind that moves a player from promising to proven. And if his first season was a statement, his second was pure brilliance. Gyökeres somehow raised the bar again, scoring 39 goals in 33 league games and finishing with 51 goals in all competitions. He retained the Golden Boot, helped fire Sporting to back-to-back titles, and once more found himself among the top scorers in Europe. Despite outscoring everyone in their respective leagues, Gyökeres narrowly missed out to Kylian Mbappe for the European Golden Shoe. At Sporting, Gyökeres evolved. He became more than a number 9. He became the centerpiece of Sporting's tactical identity, a complete forward built for the modern game. On the international stage, Gyökeres had been on the sidelines since his first Sweden cap in 2019. But as Zlatan Ibrahimovic retired and Alexander Isak battled injuries, the door opened. By 2023, he was Sweden's starting striker and their focal point. He brought a different energy, less about flair, more about power and directness. He scored crucial opening goals against Kosovo, Estonia and Belgium in the Euro qualifiers and gave Sweden a new edge up front, one that felt like a throwback to the old school number 9 but with modern mobility. Now, at 27, after 2 prolific seasons with Sporting, Viktor Gyökeres looks ready for the next step. Several clubs have showed serious interest. Atletico Madrid, AC Milan and Arsenal all saw him as their ideal number 9. For Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, this wasn't just about filling a position, it was about making a serious statement. The Gunners had already made an opening offer of €55 million and Gyökeres was just as excited about the move. But Sporting weren't going to let him go easily. They stuck to their €100 million release clause and didn't budge, even though there were rumours that they'd agreed to lower the price. Instead, they quietly offered him to other big clubs like Manchester United, hoping to spark a bidding war. That made sense, as the Red Devils are managed by Gyökeres' former coach Ruben Amorim, who was said to be very keen on a reunion. In the end, they opted to sign Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha instead, clearing the way for Arsenal. After their first offer getting rejected, the Gunners had yet to convince Sporting, but Gyökeres was fully on board. He even skipped Sporting's pre-season to help push the deal through. Now, according to the latest reports, Arsenal have secured his signature on a 5-year deal, paying €63.5 million up front with another $10 million in add-ons. Enjoyed this story? Hit the like button and check out our previous video on Gyökeres' Sweden teammate Alexander Isak. We're pretty sure you won't be disappointed.